right, folks, we're going to have some fun with this one, I can already tell. Welcome to the channel. I'm Don. This is Rockin' the Country, as has been for 6.5 years. I am doing a gift request from none other than Penny from Hedlund. I love saying that, Penny, and you know that. And you saw the title. It's Kenny Rogers' Lucille. And I reacted to this 2,500 videos ago or something like that, reactions ago. 5 years ago, whatever, 4, something like that. But this is what Penny said, and she wanted me to read this before I did the reaction. She said, I thought this was so funny I had to share before you do your review of the song. Please share this. I belong to a 1970s group, and we talked about misheard lyrics by children of the 70s, and this definitely came out #1. Kenny Rogers' Lucille. I did a composite of all the misheard lyrics of that song, but as, you know, from children. You picked a fine time to leave me loose wheel. 400 children, that crap in the field. I've been through bad times. I've seen some sad times, but this time I am hurting my heel. You picked a fine time to leave me loose wheel. Okay. Love Kenny, have respect in his music, but children are funny. Now please review the song. Thanks. All right, Penny, that was good stuff. When I first saw this, I thought these were the misheard lyrics of your childhood, but it's just this composite from the group you're part of. We've all heard, what was the one? Oh God, well, Time Passages was the name of it. And I remember my buddy George, he thought it was saying time sausages. Like, well, we've all got misheard lyrics in our mind. Led Zeppelin song, I still don't know what they're singing, and I've looked the lyrics up. All right, well, this is a review because I know the song. Haven't heard it in a while, though. Thank you for the gift, Penny.
In a bar in Toledo, across from the depot, on a bar stool she took off her ring.
Ow.
I thought I'd get closer, so I walked on over. I sat down and asked her her name. When the drinks finally hit her, she said I'm no quitter, but I finally quit living on dreams. I'm hungry for laughter, and here ever after, I'm after whatever the other life brings. In the mirror I saw him, and I closely watched him. I thought how he looked out of place. He came to the woman who sat there beside me. He had a strange look on his face. The big hands were calloused, he looked like a mountain. For a minute I thought I was dead, but he started shaking, his big heart was breaking. He turned to the woman and said, you picked a fine time to leave me, Lucille.
Is that backing?
With 4 hungry children and a crop in the field. I've had some bad times, lived through some sad times, but this time your hurting won't heal. You picked a fine time to leave me, Lucille.
Jimmy Buffett feel right there.
After he left us, I ordered more whiskey. I thought how she'd made him look small. From the lights of the bar room to a rented hotel room, we walked without talking at all. She was a beauty, but when she came to me, she must have thought I'd lost my mind. I couldn't hold her, 'cause the words that he told her kept coming back time after time. You picked a fine time to leave me, Lucille, with 4 hungry children and a crop in the field. I've had some bad times, lived through some sad times. This time you're hurting, won't heal. You picked a fine time to leave me, Lucille. You picked a fine time to leave me, Lucille. With 4 hungry children and a crop in the field. I've had some bad times, lived through some sad times. This time you're hurting, won't heal. You picked a fine time to leave me.
It's one of those songs that it goes by so quickly. Like, honestly, and I've heard this song before, but I still expect it to go on for another 5 or 6 minutes. So many thoughts come to mind in a song like this. I don't know what my reaction was the first time around to it, but there are different biases that we have, and recency bias, survivor bias. There's different ways in which we view, like, survivor bias is kind of like my way must be right because I'm living proof that it works because I've survived. But you don't realize that you're thinking that way merely because you're alive to tell the story. History is told by the victors, not necessarily those that were morally or ethically right, however you characterize those. But there's a reason why when we watch The Sopranos or the Godfather movies or murder stories, and when they're told when the first part of it is told from the standpoint of, like, Tony Soprano, and you kind of get into his world and you see his wife and his kids and different things, and you sort of have this affiliation with him, and you find yourself rooting for him until you, like, step back and say, wait a minute, this dude kills people. He hurts people. And you got to remind yourself of that. But because he's the one through whom the story is told frequently, or you see him going to the shrink, and, you see the struggles he's got. You see the humanity in him, and you're kind of, like, rooting for him. And then you're like, no, he really does belong getting shot by somebody else. That's the world he's in. But it's because he's telling the story. When I hear the story in the beginning of this song, it's the woman in the bar taking off her ring. And my mind immediately goes to, maybe it's because I'm a dude and I tend, and rightly or wrongly, probably wrongly too, automatically think, what did the dude do? What did he do wrong that you're taking your ring off? But, I mean, then the story unfolds and you're like, oh no, she's just leaving. She wants a different life. And she's going to leave 4 kids and him behind. And he seems to have a tender heart. He was shaking, even though he's a big dude. It was very well developed. His character, if you will, in this was very well developed. But then you find yourself shifting over to him and you're like, oh my God, how could she take the ring off? How could she leave? But because it's first told from her standpoint, you tend to be biased toward her. And, like, songs like this can reveal your own biases. Not that they're wrong, they just reveal how you think and process things, if you're into that sort of thing. Yeah, all right. I'm going to rate this song. I mean, it's one of these, it's just brilliant songwriting. And the fact that they brought in, like, a little Jimmy Buffett-ish, it sounded like those, what do you call those, those, are they kettle drums? Or it sounded almost like, it wasn't a xylophone, but it sounded like they brought that in. And I'm like, what? They went to, like, this uplifting sort of feel for a moment in the song when there's nothing uplifting about it. He's got 4 kids to raise now and crops. And on top of that, he's got a broken heart. I don't know. Life is tough on planet Earth. All right, I'm going to rate this one, Penny. Yeah, I mean, the number that popped into my head was a 10. I don't even know. I don't know what gets left on the cutting room floor. There really, maybe not much. This could have been one of those songs that actually happened, or it could just be an idea, because songwriters are creative people, and a lot of what they write is sort of fictionalized truth, or what would be the veracified fiction? I don't know. But there's a lot of truth. You could actually see this thing playing out somewhere, and maybe it did. Some songs can be fleshed out very quickly, and they don't need to be tweaked much. But wordsmiths, which is what songwriters are, and brilliant, and the good ones are brilliant at it. They're like poets. You get 200 words or so in a song. This one might have only had 150. But, you know, the concision with which you have to write, you've got to be good with words. And the poets and songwriters are among the elite, in my estimation. Sometimes I'll hear a song like this and think, wow, could I have done that? Would I have wanted to add more detail? Because that's sort of like my orientation. Brilliant songwriting is leaving stuff out and still having it say what you want it to say and leaving it open for someone's interpretation. So that goes in the playlist of 10s, songs that I've given a 10 to. So Penny, thank you again, my dear. I hope you're doing well. Have a great day, folks. I'll see you on another video and keep rocking the country.